In the heart of England, where tradition breathes in stone walls and royal gardens whisper tales of the past, a new chapter began one spring morning. The sun, warm and golden, rose over Kensington Palace with a sense of occasion. A rare and stunning flower had blossomed, one that had never been seen before. It was the unveiling of the Princess Catherine Rose, a unique hybrid bloom named in honor of Princess Kate, the Duchess of Cambridge. Not merely a tribute to royalty, this rose stood for elegance, resilience, and the quiet, steadfast strength of nature. It celebrated more than a person. It honored a philosophy, a way of being, nurturing, grounded, and unshakably graceful. A royal honor rooted in nature. Princess Kate had long been admired not just for her poise and beauty, but for her dedication to causes that nurture the soul of the nation: mental health, early childhood development, and environmental stewardship. But few knew of her personal connection to nature. Her morning walks through the palace gardens, her quiet love for botanical sketches, and her insistence that her children learn the names of birds, trees, and flowers not from textbooks, but from the world around them. And so, when the Royal Horticultural Society, RHS, began work on a rose to commemorate her efforts, they knew it had to be something special. Not merely a hybrid of petals and color, but a living testament to harmony, natural power, and regal simplicity. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. The final bloom was breathtaking, petals in a soft blush of sunrise pink, deepening into a twilight rose at the edges. It carried a fragrance like no other, wild honey mixed with the freshness of rain-soaked leaves. The rose thrived in both sun and storm, a symbol of enduring elegance. At the Chelsea Flower Show, under a grand white marquee veiled in ivy and spring blossoms, Princess Kate was presented with the first bloom of her namesake. Her eyes shimmered as she leaned in to smell the flower. Those nearby noticed her hands tremble slightly, not from nerves, but from emotion. For in that moment, nature had spoken back to her, honored her in its own quiet language. A bloom that tells a story. The Princess Catherine Rose was not only beautiful, it was resilient. Cultivated over several years by the renowned botanist Dame Lillian Hawthorne, it had been grown without synthetic fertilizers or chemicals. Its roots dug deep into healthy, biodiverse soil. It required less water than most hybrids and attracted bees, butterflies, and birds in abundance. This rose isn't just named for the Duchess, Dame Lillian had said. It is her in botanical form. Strong, quietly powerful, and profoundly good for the world around her. Every petal told a story. One of kindness, one of grace, one of courage. In its spiral center was the story of a woman who balanced ancient duty with modern compassion, who chose empathy over grandeur, and who found her strength not in pageantry, but in purpose. A garden of meaning. Weeks after the unveiling, the palace groundskeepers began planting the Catherine Rose in the royal garden. But it didn't stop there. Thousands of seeds and saplings were sent to schools, hospitals, community gardens, and women's shelters across the UK. Each recipient received a rose along with a handwritten note from the princess herself. This rose is a celebration of what we grow together: strength, compassion, and joy. May it remind you that even in uncertain times, beauty endures. Soon, social media filled with images of the rose in bloom, from a small primary school in Yorkshire to a rooftop garden in Birmingham. Gardeners posted time-lapse videos of petals unfurling, while children painted them in watercolor. The rose had transcended royalty and become something shared, a national symbol of unity and growth. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Nature's gentle power. The rose also became a centerpiece for environmental education. Schools began using it as a living science project. How does a rose grow? Why are pollinators important? What happens when we tend to the earth as we do our homes? Princess Kate herself visited several of these gardens. In rubber boots and a simple green coat, she knelt beside children and helped them plant their roses. She listened to their stories. She spoke of how every living thing, every flower, Every bee played a role in the great, unseen web of life. "We are nature's stewards," she said. "To care for it is to care for ourselves." It was a message that resonated far beyond royal watchers. Environmentalists, artists, scientists, and spiritual leaders all spoke of the rose as a rare blend of symbol and action. A reminder that nature's true power is not in force, but in patience, persistence, and renewal. A symbol through the seasons. As summer faded into autumn, the Catherine rose bloomed a second time, its colors now deeper and more vivid. In winter, even as the petals withered, its branches stood strong, cradled in frost. It had become a metaphor for resilience, how beauty doesn't always mean perfection, and strength often lies in what endures. In the media, a shift occurred. Coverage of the royal family became less about gowns and events, more about gardens and growth. Kate was seen less as a figurehead and more as a leader, a woman gently reshaping the idea of royalty through compassion and action. Columnists called her the Green Duchess. Children began writing essays titled, "I Want to Be Like Princess Kate." A movement had begun, rooted in the quiet power of nature. Global bloom. Word of the rose traveled overseas. Botanical societies in Australia, Canada, India, and Kenya requested samples for cultivation. The United Nations featured the Catherine rose in their Planting Peace exhibit. Even NASA requested seeds to study how it might grow in microgravity, hoping to understand how beauty and nature could accompany humans to the stars. Kate's rose, it seemed, had no borders. The Legacy Garden. On the first anniversary of the rose's unveiling, a new garden was opened in Windsor, the Legacy Garden. It was designed as a living tribute not only to Princess Kate, but to all women who nurture, teach, and lead. The garden featured medicinal plants used in traditional healing, flowers representing the Commonwealth nations, and a vast trellis of Catherine roses climbing toward the sky. At the garden's heart stood a plaque, etched with words from the princess. "In every garden is the story of tomorrow. May we grow wisely, love deeply, and bloom brightly." Visitors came from across the world. They left behind poems, painted stones, and letters of thanks. Some brought ashes of loved ones to scatter among the roots. The garden had become sacred ground, not by decree, but by shared belief. A lasting tribute. Princess Kate never saw the rose as hers alone. In interviews, she often deflected praise, saying only it belongs to the people. "I'm just part of the garden." And yet, in its petals, she was undeniably present. The way it withstood storms without bending. The way it returned each year, no matter the weather. The way it never demanded attention, and yet, once seen, was never forgotten. In an age of speed and spectacle, the rose was a reminder of gentler values. Of tending what we love. Of honoring beauty not through possession, but through preservation. Conclusion. The power in the petal. The Catherine rose was more than a flower. It was a celebration of nature's quiet strength and of the woman who embodied it. In honoring Princess Kate, the rose had honored something greater, the power of care, patience, and unity in a divided world. And somewhere, in a sun-dappled corner of the palace garden, a mother bent beside her children, showing them how to plant something that would outlive them. For in every seed lies a future. And in every rose, a reason to hope. Subscribe the channel to get such videos.